Happy Tuesday to you. It's time for today's edition of the Daily Standup, and without any further ado, let's get started. I'm Lee Henson, president and founder of AgileDad, and today I had a special request. It's Tuesday, so someone asked me, they said, first of all, they said, will you focus on the 3 questions for the Daily Standup specifically? Which I found to be an odd request because most people would say, oh, that's super elementary, I know those 3 questions. But the shock value of saying those 3 questions may not be the right 3 questions is surely what they were looking for here with a huge grin on their face. But before I go any further, I want to apologize for the lack of a Monday episode. Apparently, we had some system issues with our podcast hosting provider, and hopefully things are all up and running now. Things are looking much better. So we want to make sure that we can make that up to you. What a powerful week this week. We got lots of great episodes. So for today, let's talk about those 3 questions. It's going to be short and sweet. So many of you would say the 3 questions are the traditional ones that everyone's practiced for so long. What did you do yesterday? What are you doing today? Do you have any impediments? And while on the surface that sounds great, I don't think those are the 3 real topics you intend or should be talking about at the Daily Stand-Up. So the first question, instead of what did you do yesterday, maybe you would ask, what did you commit to do yesterday, and did you meet or make those commitments? Subtle difference, but huge difference, right? And it changes from yesterday I did ABC to yesterday I said I was going to do ABC and I finished it. Today this is what I'm working on, right? Or yesterday I didn't finish and this is why. So it invites the right conversation to be had, and it allows us to get that greater focus that we need at the Daily Stand-Up so that everyone can be on the same page. Instead of the second question, what do you plan to do today? Maybe you could ask yourself, what do you commit to do today? Because I think even though it's just a small one-word change, when you're making a commitment in front of your peers and in front of anyone else who's at that meeting, it's important for you to let the world know, hey, that this is where you are and this is where you need to be and this is what you're going to do and this is how you're going to do it. And I think that there's too many times where people and organizations don't have that focus. And I think that when you get the teams to have that hyper laser focus, that's going to allow you to really dig in and really understand better what you're committing to do. Because I'm not going to say I commit to do this today if I don't have a clear understanding of it as a team member. So it'll force me to really evaluate the work that's inside the sprint, to make sure that it meets a proper definition of ready, to make sure it has clear acceptance criteria, and to make certain going forward that we have all that we need to be successful. I think the third question is probably the most dramatic change. Instead of do you have any impediments, the third question should be, if you have an impediment, why did you wait until now to tell us about it? Which is kind of a shocking question. I think too often we have impediments, but we don't, we wait until the next day, or, we say we could pick up something else to do, or whatever the case may be. A lot of people even go with the mindset of, well, that's the whole Daily Stand-Up's for. The Daily Stand-Up is for us to identify impediments, and it's the Scrum Master's job to get them all resolved. And ouch, man, it hurts my heart saying it because that couldn't be further from the truth. I think the truth is that, yes, it is an opportunity for us to talk about impediments, but that's not the only time, place, and, thought where impediments happen. Impediments happen throughout the day, and they should be brought to the attention of the product owner, Scrum Master, throughout the day. You shouldn't wait until the next Daily Stand-Up to talk about things. I mean, picture how different it would be if the question were, if you have an impediment, why did you wait until now to tell us? Because that means that you had a whole 23 hours and 30 minutes to resolve this, but because the Daily Stand-Up says you were supposed to talk about it now, you waited. It's just silliness, right? So I think it's just so important for us to regain that focus and to really dig in and, to identify. Now, there's nothing wrong. I want to be clear. If someone says, I just learned before the meeting that Johnny was out of town, and someone says, oh, I had the same issue. I went and talked to Michael. He got it resolved. I'll go with you after. That's perfect. Yeah, get those impediments resolved and talk about them at the Daily Stand-Up. But don't let the Daily Stand-Up drive how you do work. The Daily Stand-Up is intended to be a tool. It's intended to be something that you use to help you regain your focus and to enforce team accountability. But most importantly, it's something that the organization can look forward to so that they can continue to see forward progress without disrupting current work. And it should be a very short time box, 30 seconds per person, not to exceed 15-minute meeting, where everyone has a chance to say their piece and go back to work. And I think that if you can stay laser focused and look at each other and, provide the right answers without being interviewed, I feel that you'd have a very special impact and that you'd see the value of the Daily Stand-Up, and it would mean so much more to you and to your organization. Well, I promise to keep it short and sweet. I hope this information was useful to you. As always, we encourage you to visit AgileDad, where you can learn more about this topic and many others like it. And if you have an idea for an upcoming podcast episode, please email learnmore, that's LEARNMORE at agiledad.com, where we would love to hear your ideas and get those in a future episode of the Daily Stand-Up Podcast. Until next time, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Do take care.